Welcome back. We are here for Hissing Darkness, Whispers in Exile, Episode 3. So, previously on, and I will let my players take over and tell me what they remember happening last time to their characters as we come upon the entrance to the next set, which is called the Underhull. But before that, what happened last time?
Well, Hart went looking for the bridge or engineering or wherever it was that Cecile had seen sort of the source of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And was trying to find that. At this point, we were all in the same place, but then we scattered and split the party because we're smart and good at things. I lost my fingers. Oops. Um, and I think I'm in the Underhull now. Um, Everything else I remember is about other characters, so I'll let them do it. Mostly about Jaxu.
Okay, well, I think woke up, immediately checked his face, tried to find a console that he was able to. He started getting talked to by his sister in that console, but that console then turned into a creepy black mist with glowing eyes. So he did what any reasonable person would do: and ran away. Um, Met up with Dr. Miller, of course, stumbled over more of those things and did what any normal person would do and would throw a jab and then run away. I mean, lines up properly. Managed to get out. Oh, that was the starting area where we were in cryo. Got out the cryo area, got in the hunting area, found some eggs in some thing's chest. Apparently, we learned that Jaxu startles easy because he dropped those eggs and then slowly kicked them down the hall away from him because that's the smart thing to do. And then walked with purpose away from the noises we heard. Uh, Eventually got into some place where I guess we thought it was safe, and Hart had got some stuff on her face, and Jaxu, being the awesome person he is, took off his shirt to try to remove it and almost got shot. Um, so that didn't go super great. And thing that was behind us shows up again, and we decided to do a scatter drill because it can't kill all of us, right? Right? So he looks for these eyes that have been following it and poking out of vents, and decides to go in a different vent where he sees his sister, and then kind of gets stuck in a vent, and then tried to use a slip ritual, but then sort of fell into nothingness and hit the ground super hard in the underhall, uh, and trying to catch his breath and curled up into a ball because he saw his sister, and then he didn't see his sister, and there's that thing that was chasing him is up there. So he's in a good place.
He's had a rough day. Yeah.
Yeah, when we scattered, and the direction I went was into the darkness. I had the hand reaching out. That's right. Yeah, go towards the bad thing. And slipped. Used my slip ritual to slip through it, and wound up in the little techno altar shrine that I'd seen before, through the vision or whatever it was. And my old mentor was there. I took a super sweet amulet or talisman or something, which I'm sure is going to be super useful and great, good for me. And then when my mentor opened their mouth to show me the void inside, I went in, and yeah, everything worked out great. I have the dark choir now instead of the everything everywhere, and I'm just chilling in the underhall with everyone. It's great, good time. No
Everything.
ruin at
No,
all. Yeah.
none. super normal actually for everyone. We're all doing great. I personally tried to parasitize. I can talk. I have a fake doctorate. I tried to parasitize the dark to make a flashlight out of my little cool wristband, and it parasitized me back. We have definitely gotten some interesting experiences as we've been down here. You know, I've made a lot of contact with it. I think both of my conditions have the dark at the end, and I'm sure this is gonna go swimmingly now that we're all together in the hull, the underhull even. It's gonna go great. Super cool.
Oh, you will have more opportunities to contact the dark. Any which way that you will, for sure. All right, so again, the camera kind of pans up from behind Jaxu's curled up body and sees the lights coming from Dr. Mullen and Hart and Cecile. And let's see, I just want to check on conditions. You'll see. Yep. Okay. So Hart, I think, yeah, they were concerned about your fingers, but I think, you know, your combat marine is like all set and ready to go regardless, because you've seen worse. So,
Like
sexy
last
contact
time
is
when
open.
you had
Yes,
the awesome flashback on the moon as well.
I think so. Yes, that is very fresh.
Also, I do want to note that Cecile does have a horrible shadow thing following her.
Yeah, the shadow thing
Yes.
attached to my shadow. Yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
Oh, right. Because someone had a very bright light and I was hiding behind Hart, I think, so that their shadow would be cast, not mine.
Ah, yes. Kind Hart. Yeah. No, we like add like, you know, again, just like let's like look at safety. I mean, again, it's like if you're not sure, ask first. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the reminder. Appreciate that. So we are playing with lines and veils. It is a horror game, but again, like there might be things that make people just pause a little bit. So just be careful, okay? And again, call me out too, if I get too close. So, all right. So you all find yourselves on the outside of the bay doors for the underhull. It is where refuse, waste, and things forgotten across the ship go to settle. It's a Hadal zone encased in metal, suspended in the absolute void. There is a constant chemical rain that filters down from above. You can't tell from where. This is a large space, further than your very dim and weak lights can see. The walls seem to have some coating of rusty sediment, but there are also pools here. How deep, you cannot tell. You hear the groan and the shift of the metallic wrecks. Welcome to the underhull. Your set goal is to gain access to the fabricator forges to make tools that you will need for going further into the ship. Okay. What would you like to do here as you enter the underhull?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say Jaxu is going to try to get air back into his lungs.
Yeah,
First
so
and
you three
foremost.
see him like curled up on the floor.
Dr. Mullen with no tact. Are you still alive?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Oh man, I'm
surprise
fucking
him.
alive.
Okay.
Why? Oh
But
God.
you're on the ground. You could have been dead.
Pro tip: ground's cold. I should have probably kept the shirt.
Then you should get up.
He stumbles to his feet.
Dr. Mullen does not try to help you up, by the way. Just sort of
I
stands
assumed.
there. Yeah, no.
I assume, like, for a second, Jaxu probably was There was like that awkward moment where Jaxu was waiting for a hand up, and then he realized it wasn't coming, and it like gets up.
Sorry. So, does anybody have an idea of where we are? A direction? Do you know? Have you been down here?
Still
I
have
assume
our communicating mappy
Mhm.
things.
Yeah, I'm not actually pointing. Mine's pointed
Yeah.
away from me as a
Oh, that's
flashlight,
right, 'cause that's
so
very
I'm
bright,
not
yeah.
looking at it. But
Yeah.
yes,
I'll bring up mine and see if anything shows of use or interest.
Are you looking for a schematic, or are you looking
Yeah.
for like just a further light source?
Schematic and where we are on it, if possible.
I'm going to say that what you end up seeing here is that the readout says location identified under hull.
Under hull. We are in the under hull or under the hull. One of the other.
What isn't like the under the whole space?
Yeah, so probably the first one then.
I don't think there's a difference between the two things you said. Whether
if
in the
there's just a-
underhull or we're under the hull, those are both the same thing.
We're under the hull,
Oh.
we're outside of the ship.
Unless under the hull is inside the ship.
So there's like an outside hull, outside the regular
Outer
hull.
hull.
Outer hull. Oh, there's an inner hull and outer hull. Yeah, that makes sense.
If you try to do a scan, you will see that it's showing you what looks like, again, a lot of detritus. It'll show you as like some material is inorganic, but you do see some slight movement, but you can't quite tell if that movement is from the static that is interrupting the signal to your holograms, or if that could possibly be organic moving under some of this sediment that's here.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this fucking movie. It didn't go well either. We should probably like get moving. What are we looking for? What down here?
Well, we need to find out what's happened to this ship and why, and then we need to steer it back towards safety.
Or at least fix it somehow.
Clearly.
or at least make it survivable.
Well, we don't want to bring whatever is happening on this ship to our new world.
Huh.
Right, Dr. Mullen?
I'm sure whatever it is a self-contained sort of phenomenon. And if not, maybe we should study it and see.
Just
That
as an out
seems
of
like a
character.
step.
Sorry.
No,
Just
go
as an
ahead.
out of character mechanic, just be reminded that if you do have hunt tokens, you can trade them at any time to find something of value that you can use later for gold.
Fun. Can we also do hunt rolls here? Oh, go ahead, Jonn.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I think y'all, that's like one or two steps past where we're at. I can use a fucking sandwich. So how about we find some food and then we worry about, saving the fucking day if that's what we plan to try to do.
So
I mean, it doesn't have
Jaxu
to
is
be a
looking for the
sandwich.
galley.
Yes.
Basically, you're in the dump right now, just so you
Yeah,
know.
I don't. I do you know how to
Beggars
find
can't be
food
choosers.
here? Are you going to dig for it?
Well, I mean, look, beggars can't be choosers, and like this isn't the first ship I stowed away on, and so
Interesting.
we're not gonna.
Oh.
You're a stowaway?
Oh, did I say that? No, I didn't. I was
Loudly.
supposed to be here. Look, I hit my head when I came through the. Oh, nah, I'm supposed to be here. Sandwich piece. Let's go get some. Let's focus on getting us some food, and we can like relive our life stories after we get something. How about we do that? Let's like you trying to take a step away with his arm, like, come on, follow me. Focus on that right now.
Hart, what's up?
The
Oh, go ahead.
scans the scans show some movement. I think maybe I don't know if it's organic or not. So keep your eyes open, or we might be the lunch.
Well, I mean, you think there's other people? I mean, we're not the only ones that were being woke up, right?
Well, we haven't seen anybody else yet.
I'm just gonna yell. Is anybody else out there?
God.
Anybody?
There's a
Cecile.
metallic echo that bounces back to you of your words.
Okay.
And again, you hear like some metallic like groaning and shifting. And you can see in the distance, again, this is a very humongous room. You can see in the distance, it's like, what look like the tops of wreckage that seem to be shifting or rocking back and forth as if further out, it's deeper.
Cool.
And
All right,
the
so
holograms show a cold, dense haze settling around them as if there's like much moisture here. And there is. For your dim light sources will show again this kind of like misty rain that's falling. You're underneath a large awning right now, so you're not
Okay.
in it, but the haze is quite dense.
I would actually like to reach out from under the awning and put my hand out under the mist and see if it like burns me or does anything untoward.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, like as you reach your hand out, like first it feels cold, but then you notice that the skin on your bare hands or gloves.
Bare hands. If our suits have gloves, they took it off to see what this stuff is.
Yeah, you'll see like like first it looks like the haze is just like kind of hovering above your skin as if you're warmer than the air, but then you realize no, it's starting to burn. It's a cold burn as your skin starts to disintegrate.
Oh, we jerked that back. So this might be more complicated than I thought. Whew, spicy. Just puts that glove right back on. Don't. Does anybody have an idea on how to cross this without dying?
well, I mean, it's an underhaul, so maybe there might be some spacesuits. Like, I don't think these are really what we got. I don't know how well they're going to work, but hold on. I'm going to stick my glove onto the tuning fork I have and
Mhm.
like poke it out into the water and see what happens to the glove. I'm just
I
gonna like
mean,
stick it out for a second just to see what if the sizzling like is this if we keep our skin covered we'll be okay, or is the glove also gonna get disintegrated when I poke it out?
it doesn't disintegrate necessarily, but it starts to get like a reddish tint as if it's being affected chemically by the mist, by the rain.
Yeah, so whatever we're got wearing right now is not gonna cut it. So shit. But there might be some other suits somewhere. I mean, people gotta come down here, right? Or I don't know anything about ships. Is the underhaul supposed to be like this normally?
Aren't stowaways supposed to know a lot about ships, so you can.
Yeah, I know about a lot about the. Look, the thing is, just like most of the engineers on these things, they know about the sections that matter to them. They don't know about the whole entire thing as much as they try to tell you. I know where I need to go to not get thrown off the ship once I'm on it. Hypothetically, if I were a stowaway, which I'm not.
Hypothetically.
Yeah,
Hypothetically.
yeah, right.
What
I will
authority
say-
will report you?
I will say that if you do like get in contact with the droplets, then it's like it's more corrosive then like if you like just kind of like put your hand out into the mist, like it's not going to disintegrate fast. It's just going to be affecting your skin like you're allergic, right? It's like an allergy.
Okay. So is it the droplets or is it the actual
Droplets.
mist that?
Droplets will definitely start to melt flesh.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, look, how about we try, maybe we can pull some of these panels off this wall and we can use it, like, hold it over us, maybe?
Bad idea.
Yeah. Totally do that if you'd like. Um,
I'm gonna hunt for that because I don't know. Maybe we'll stumble onto a series of suits that are perfect for this situation. But I
Yeah.
mean, barring that happening,
Let's tear the ship
we'll
apart.
improvise.
Let's
Yeah.
just rip it apart. Let's just rip it. Listen.
What else is
Cecile,
another hull for?
Cecile, I'm gonna say that if you're looking for information
Mhm.
that I'm just gonna give this to you. You know that the fabricator forges are a piece of technology that you can fuel them. And when you fuel them with technology, doesn't matter what kind, it could be raw material, it could be scavenged goods, you know they can create items that you need.
Mm.
Just think of like futuristic dystopian 3D printers.
Right.
So,
Hell yeah.
but you just have to find them in this area.
We need to get to them without getting dissolved. Um,
And you know that they can create those suits that you need. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hunt for something that we can use to protect us from the droplets coming, raining down on us. I guess
Okay.
is that
Uh,
something?
what's your skill, equipment, or occupation background that can help you with this?
I mean, I don't know if background as a stowaway would help here. Well, I don't think I have anything else, anything specific that other than that. So,
Oh, you know what? I'm like, we'll call it like an extension of scavenging, you know? So we'll give you that light die, and then the other one is for asking the question about finding things that you can use to protect against the rain. Okay? So go
okay,
ahead and roll 2 on the hunt roll, please.
all right, 6.
nice.
All right, light 6. So go ahead and pick up a token, add a token to your pool, and then tell us how you succeed. Like, what do you think you find to be able to protect you all from getting around the area?
Okay, I think what I'm able to find is there is like looks to be some sort of like plastic paneling that when it's pulled away, it's like it prior takes about maybe one, it'll take like maybe 2 people to be able to hold it up, but
Hmm.
the way it was attached, it leaves handholds on the underside of that panel so that you can hold on to it.
Mm.
It's not super comfortable because it wasn't designed to be held onto. It
Hmm.
was used for mounting, but
Sure.
it works well enough where we can hold it up pretty steady without having to worry about dropping it.
Mhm.
Okay. Or you can even turtle underneath it. Like, I'll even
Right.
say that like
Mhm.
maybe it's got like ways to strap it, so you can kind of
Mm.
backpack it and then just kind of like huddle underneath it if need be.
Mhm.
Yeah. So long as you have help, then people everyone can get at least one to use as a turtle back. Sure.
That's
Okay.
rad.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Anybody else want to do a hunt token around here? God knows there's plenty of spaces and things to look at. So.
Yeah, I think I want to take another look again at the sort of piping and
Mhm.
cords and wires that are along the walls and along the ceiling to see if we
Sure.
can figure out what direction different things are in,
Sure.
like what way the power is going or whatever.
Yeah, you will definitely see like sealed piping, half pipes that look like they have wires underneath, like feeding into and around the walls. But you also see like what is it, like drainage holes like like above, way above you, and also like almost up into the darkness beyond the light sources. And what they have is like kind of like a like liquid and sediment like coming down from them, like dropping into the area of the pools here in the Underhull. And they are regular intermittent placement, so this way, like in between them, there's like awnings that you could conceivably stay under to kind of get away from most of the rain if need be.
Okay.
Yeah. So, go ahead, and what are you using to equipment, skills, background, occupation?
Let's see. I actually think I'm going to add a small container to my backpack equipment. I want to catch some of this stuff that's raining down
Sure.
into a protective container so I can get a better look at it and understand what's dropping down from above.
Awesome. Oh, I love that.
Okay, great. And then asking questions, and then so 2 on the hunt roll, please.
That's 3. I encounter something terrible.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yay!
Yay! We love it.
Let me find out if the other 2 want to do something first as you're doing this info gathering.
I'm curious about the pools.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I think I'm going to, with the plastic overhead, approach them, and I think the hunt is going to involve my data sphere AR lens, and see if I can like scan into it, see how deep they go, see if there's anything down there.
Sure. Okay.
What the stuff is.
2 on the hunt roll, please. Okay. Get a token, but encounter something terrible. Yay! Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, Dr. Mullen, before I decide to throw things at y'all.
Oh man, I'm gonna throw my hat in there. I'm interested. You mentioned that there's sort of this potentially organic stuff, and I think like I would like to try to see if there is anything legitimate, if I can see anything legitimately moving out in the dark. This might be uncalled for, but I was considering using commune to see if I can figure out what's out there.
Oh, I mean, oh goodness, so gracious. Usually it calls, if you're using commune, then like that automatically brings on a risk roll, so not a hunt roll. So if
Okay,
you're
I
okay
can't
with
use it on
that.
a hunt roll. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm down with either, absolutely.
It just depends on whether you want to try for a token or if you just want to like, see how much danger you can get into.
I'll try. I have plenty of time to get into danger in like a minute and a half, probably. So we'll just be peeking right now with my various, maybe xenobiology to try to see if I can see any little critters.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I mean, and then so you got that, and then you're asking questions specifically about the moving in the darkness for anything organic. So go ahead and roll 2 on the hunt.
I should have done a risk roll.
Oh my.
For the viewers out there, I rolled a 1. I encountered something terrible and lost all my tokens.
Oh my god.
How many tokens did you have?
I had 2, baby.
I'm glad I did my due diligence and at least mentioned that you could trade it in at any time.
Oh, you did. No, you did. And I was like, maybe I should do that. No, and this is my hubris being punished.
Oh gosh. Me is like, I'm so sorry, babe. And then GM me is like, okay. I did my due diligence.
You did your due diligence, and I need to be punished for my hubris. So
okay, all right. So Jaxu is like, getting everybody protected, and then everybody else gets into trouble. So let's deal with Hart first. Okay, so you you raise your vial into the rain, and you're able to capture enough droplets to have a decent sample. But I think, and the camera will kind of like take it from your point of view where you're seeing your hand, you're able to see into the vial, like you have your light source pointed at it, and you get enough droplets that you're able to do a decent scan. Um, yeah, with that 3, like, you can't get the scan yet because as the camera's like, focusing away from the vial upward, you can see beyond it, and there is something on the wall. Can't quite tell what it is yet, but that chemical slurry is interrupted by a shape that seems to be coming towards you. Can't quite tell what it is yet, but you start to hear like chittering and ticking on the wall. And for Cecile, out in the pools, as you get close and you're using your
AR visor, AR, Datasphere AR lens.
yeah, you're looking at the pools, like you're seeing them kind of like rock gently, like the slurry's like on top, and then you've got like you can see some of the text sinking into it, which looks rusty and chemically corroded. You notice through your lens that there's something interrupting the signal, and it's creating a shape of something that looks like it has sharp pointed legs, and you can see like gnashing mandible type things coming out of the slurry. And oh goodness, Dr. Mullen, something in the dark. Oh, what do I do for you? Give me a second. Where specifically are you looking?
I think out in the far distance, anywhere I can see sort of movement, and trying to sort of like get the flashlight, the makeshift flashlight, to maybe gleam off of a carapace or some such.
Oh, yes. Because I think you see, again, like it's like the gentle rocking of metal, and you can hear it kind of like clunk against each other. But then you hear the clunking increase in speed, and you notice some of the bigger pieces of tech rise and then fall. Rise and then fall. And it's getting closer to where you're aiming the light.
Oh shit.
So yeah. So that's the kind of trouble that you're coming out to. So just to summarize, it's like Cecile crawler, Hart crawler, Dr. Mullen Leviathan.
Hmm.
I love this. It's so horrible. Fuck.
When I see the stuff, our friend, I just announce out loud to everyone nearby. Friends, we have the bugs in the water. Back up. Don't go near the pools.
Dr. Mullen, you hear this?
Oh,
like big things.
Big. We have very big things. I don't think it matters where we go.
Yeah. So, Hart, I mean, like, you're able to see like the wires, but you're also able to see some of these half camouflaged things, like also making their way towards you along the wall.
Well, I've been talking about how I have a gun on my person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to add it to my backpack. Gun.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot it.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty. So, are we building up for combat, or are you calling this a risk?
I plan on trying to shoot this thing dead, so this for me is a combat.
Okay. So I like let's build this fun thing. All right, so deciding who participates will determine how many dice that Hart can use, and also, like, who needs to roll weak points. Okay, so you join your efforts with other fellow treasure hunters if they decide to participate. Who will participate in this? Although I will say that the only one that's kind of available is Jaxu, so I don't know if Jaxu wants to do anything at this point.
Yes, Jaxu will join shortlist into this combat.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
I will just
So
make a note of that every time
Okay.
until he finds a
It's very cinematic. This
Yes.
is important.
and
We
you're
have
you're
to know
both
this.
yes, and you're both conveniently next to each other on my notes, so this is great.
Perfect.
Can do this.
Yeah,
Okay, so now each of you say how you're going to expose yourself to injury or attack.
Well, I'm good with a gun, but I'm also
Mhm.
missing most of my fingers now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I am just at risk of being a poor shot.
Okay. Alrighty. And then Jaxu, I think you're still sans shirt. I mean,
yeah, sans shirt. I mean, unfortunately, when I pulled that panel up, there weren't like a bunch of shirts in studio.
That's the closet.
I would have given you the opportunity to go grab someone from said backpack, but no, nobody's got to look in their bag. Whatever, it's all cool. All right, so each of you will now roll weak point, please. I want to see like what your weak point is.
I got a 3.
Okay.
All right. Weak. Also have a 3.
Great.
Pray. Pray. Okay, so take a dark die for each character involved in the attack has a weapon they can use in combat. Jaxu, what are you using?
I found a combat blade and a handgun. I think handgun would be better for this situation,
Perfect.
so I don't
Okay.
get shot by Hart.
Okay.
I just remembered
And
I have a
fingertips.
gun in my equipment, so I didn't need to add one.
All right.
You have
That's
two
fine.
guns.
So 2 dark.
Okay. Yeah, too dark, please.
All right, combat roll. What is the endurance that we're trying to beat here? Meet and beat.
That would be helpful to know, right? Give me a second. You're trying to beat like endurance 6.
Okay, we can do that on a 2 dice roll. We can do
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I roll awesome.
Mhm. I believe in us.
I got a 5.
Oh,
Oh,
And
Oh,
I rolled
not-
a
and
3.
trouble.
Oh gosh.
this isn't a situation where you can like add a die, right?
Unfortunately, the way it works is that when you roll combat, your top 2 dice are you sum them against the monster's endurance.
Mhm.
So we do not beat the monster, and we
Mhm.
both take a hit because I rolled a 3, and we both have a weak point of 3.
Okay.
So you take
I
a
will
ruin.
use armor. I'm gonna use armor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Mark a piece of armor to
Because that would
avoid
put
ruin.
me at work. So I'm out at 6, or
Mhm.
if I take more after 6.
You're
At
out
6.
At 6.
You're at 6. You're
At
out
6.
at 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna mark armor so that I'm not taking
Yeah.
out.
And you can run away from combat.
Uh huh.
Amazing. He's not running away from combat. Excellent. Okay.
We love this.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
my gosh.
I'm also going to mark armor. I think what's happened is I take out the gun and I do aim for this thing, but it's hard to see and it's dark in here, and I'm
Yes.
not good at aiming because I have missing fingers. So I think when I shoot, the bullet ricochets and instead hits both me and Jaxu. If you want to be part of this, or if you want to narrate your own
Magic
thing,
bullet.
I think
Oh
it just
my
sort of hits
God.
us. And the armor that I'm wearing, this high impact ceramic plating, just shatters.
All right. So now you can re-roll with another dark die. So that would bring you up to 3.
Jaxu, you want to take this
Yeah.
one?
I absolutely don't, but I will. So I'm yeah. So I think that I like the whole ricochet that we took out 2 pieces of armor with 1 stone.
Oh wait. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Oh
Well, I
shit.
don't-
Hold on. I just remembered something. So the way they did it last time when they did it this morning, They did ranged
Mhm.
because they were using guns and they were using like a plasma rifle.
Mm-hmm.
So it works differently than here,
Okay.
than what we see here. Give me a second. I gotta pull up the rules
Oh.
because it might be better. It might
Range
be worse.
reduces the endurance, doesn't it?
Yes, like it can definitely reduce endurance. So give me a second. I have to find my
I
set
hope it.
rules. God damn it.
I hope
Okay.
it reduces it in a way that we killed it.
Reduces the
Well, we
monster's
built
endurance.
like, you know what? I'm gonna
Okay.
say, like, you know, it was my fault because I should have remembered to pull it up before we started, because again, it does affect
Nah, we're all good.
differently. Yeah.
We're all
Okay.
gonna survive, and it's gonna be great.
Gonna be
Okay.
super cool and fine.
Yeah.
We won't have
Can
to
be
reroll
treated like any other
characters.
weapon used in combat. However, ranged weapons may be used to reduce a monster's endurance by putting your ammunition and the use of your weapon at risk. So ranged weapons start with 3 slots of ammunition. I'm just going to read it out loud and then you can
Mhm.
decide how you want to do this. You make a risk roll to reduce endurance as normal, but add a light die for each unmarked slot of ammunition you're willing to risk.
Got you.
Okay? And then for each light die that comes up a 1, a 2, or a 3, you're going to mark a slot of ammunition. When you have no more unmarked slots, you can no longer use this weapon. Okay? But
So, do we want to retcon and go back to the beginning of this combat, or do we want to roll from this point?
it is up to you. I mean, I'm happy to do it either way. I feel bad that I didn't mention it sooner to try and reduce endurance.
Of all the games of Trophy I've ever played, I don't think I've ever used a ranged weapon.
Yeah, same.
And I've played a lot of Trophy.
Right, exactly. So I mean, like, you know,
Right.
this is new for all of us because it's like,
Yeah.
you know, this is the first time it's been brought up. So I'm happy to completely retcon. We'll start over. You know, if you want to reduce endurance first, let's do that. Doing this
Okay.
method. You're
All
both
right.
using guns, so
Mhm.
So we've seen
Yes.
what happens if we just go charging in, and now we see the video is like rewinding,
yes,
where we have this
Yeah,
moment of
yeah.
clarity.
yes,
We're like,
That was
clarity is great.
Hart's combat.
Combat vision.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Vision.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
so beautiful.
And then like
Fantastic.
zooms back to Hart, and he's like, "No, that's not the way. We need
No,
to do something
I
different."
love it.
Yes. Oh.
Perfect.
I switch
Fantastic.
my gun to my offhand. I'm still pretty good with my offhand, but
Yes.
not it's good, but I have more fingers, so yeah, I think
Yeah.
I switched to the offhand.
It's the trigger part that like we need more, you know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna aim again at this thing, and my goal is to reduce its endurance to make it less dangerous to us and easier to fight. I would like to put. So how did I put
You put
Up
1, 2, or 3
at
light
risk?
dice in. Yeah.
yeah,
that'll go
you
from
have,
there.
you have
Yeah.
to figure out like how much of your ammunition you're willing to risk.
I'm gonna put
Okay.
2 in for light.
Okay.
Do you want to put one and I put one in, or
I think
Or
I have to
can
do
we
it
do that?
solo.
Okay.
No, hold on. I mean, like, no,
Mm.
because I mean, like, you know, they had a couple of players help with the reducing the endurance. So if Jaxu is willing to help with reducing endurance, then
Is that a help roll or a part of the risk roll?
it's part of the risk roll because it's like I'm treated them as two separate weapons. Yeah.
Mhm.
So Jaxu, you would decide if you want to risk 1, 2, or 3 pieces of ammunition for this.
All right. You want to do one apiece, or
One apiece, one each?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Now, for this risk roll, I mean, like, okay, we build it the normal way. So what could go wrong? I'm gonna say that, yeah, the guns
The
jam.
thing happened that we just saw.
Yeah,
Yes.
the thing happens that you
Right.
just saw exactly.
Just
People
make it
or
mad.
or your guns jam. I mean, like, because it's like it's kind of hazy,
Yeah.
it's kind of corrosive around here. So yeah, I mean, things
Mhm.
shit could happen. All right, so light die. If something is you're skilled at, well, marine for sure.
Yeah.
Jaxu, what do you have that you can use towards this combat? I mean, not combat. The reducing endurance, basically, using the gun.
I do athletics, since I'm
Sure.
gonna try to draw them towards me, so Hart has a better shot.
Okay, exactly. And then dark die, no, because of body, sorry. So light die, dark die. And instead of the devil's bargain, This is where you decide for how many ammunition slots that you're going to use. Okay? So each of you will roll 2 light, 1 dark. Okay? For the risk. Oh, where'd it go?
I rolled it.
Okay.
Didn't bother
Nice.
taking
Ah,
devil's bargains. Got a 6 light.
Okay.
I got a 4, but it's on the black die.
Mm-hmm.
So for every light die that
Oh.
comes up a 1, a 2, or a 3, that's where you mark the slot of ammunition.
All
If
right.
you don't come up with any light die that comes up with a 1, a 2, or a 3, then that slot does not get used up.
All right. So I rolled
Okay.
a 2 with white,
Mhm.
a 3
So-
black, and a 6 white or light.
Okay.
So,
So you're-
I marked 2 ammunition. I just went boom, boom.
Okay, so then like one of them gets used, but the other does not.
Okay.
Because it only counts for the light die. Each light die that comes up a 1, a 2, or a 3
Okay,
doesn't
got
get
you.
used up. Okay.
So just the one.
Jaxu,
Boom.
yeah, Jaxu, you just use up.
Mhm.
Well, hold on. Well, since you only put in like 1 mark, give me a second.
Yeah, I only risked
Oh, yeah,
one.
Yeah, you only risk 1, so then that's used. Okay,
Okay.
alrighty. That's weird. Okay, but anyway, it works. So each of you have reduced the endurance, so it's down to 4.
I think I kind of out of the corner of my eye, I see that Jaxu also took a shot, and I'm like, good shot, Jaxu.
Hell yeah.
And you can tell that that it worked, like both of your shots worked, because the camouflage is starting to fade a little bit, and you can start to see now that it's got the sharp legs, kind of like an arachnid, but then it's like they're made out of metal, and it's probably like the size of a Labrador with the
Okay.
legs, you know?
Is it high up? Can I reach it?
Okay, out of character. Why the hell are you gonna reach it, girl?
I want to stab it with my knife.
Okay, I had to think about that for a second. I mean, it's
I want to
gotta make
pet
sure it's
it.
dead.
I
well
wanna pet it.
because you've reduced its endurance. I think it slid down the wall, so it's probably within reach. Although Jaxu watching you do this could probably be like, "What the fuck, girl?" Anyway,
Yeah, I want to hold on to my ammunition if I can. I'll just stab it if I can reach it.
okay,
Mhm.
alrighty. So there you go.
My
Okay, give me a second. All right, so you've reduced the brain. You've reduced the endurance. We can now move to combat. Okay.
Okay.
So again, you can take another shot at it, Jaxu, if you want, or you can just let Hart do her thing.
Oh, I also have a combat knife. We're going to tandem stab it.
Tandem stab.
Oh, okay, so both of you are participating. How are you exposing yourself to injury or attack? Jaxu's probably still not wearing the shirt because we didn't retcon all
Yeah.
the way back.
Yeah.
I'm still, because of the fingers thing, I think I have to use my offhand again.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I'm not quite as strong as good at aiming with my offhand.
Okay. So both of you roll now a weak point.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled another 3.
All right, let's find out. Okay, so this is 2 dark die.
All right, do you want to roll it, Jaxu?
This is under 2 dark die under combat, please.
No.
All right, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
You do it.
Okay, I'll do it. 2 dark die.
Yes.
A 2 and a 6. So it's 8.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think what I do is I put my gun away after saying, good shot, Jaxu, and I take out my knife, again with my rough hand, and I go and I run around sort of to its left side, so I'm on the right of it, like if we're facing it, and I just take my arm and I stab it right into its weird metallic thorax, and I look over at Jaxu, and Jaxu does...
Oh, no, Jaxu does not look like a professional, like he does. He like does it like he's like some sort of ritualist performing a sacrifice, and like has it in both hands. It's like,
And amazingly enough,
die.
amazingly enough, like neither one of you get injured because you both like, pretty much get it where it hurts, and you have defeated the crawler for sure.
Yeah.
Jaxu probably stabs it multiple times after it has been defeated until Hart probably has to like, stop. Pull yourself. It's dead.
Pull yourself together, soldier.
So one of you needs to roll. One of you needs to roll 4 gold.
I think I'm the only one who's capable of checking this thing for what it has and what's on it at this moment in time.
Okay, go for it.
Found a gold.
Nice. A gold. All right. So I think what you find, give me a second, I got to get back to that sheet. Easy. You find that the camouflage completely goes at this point, and it falls to the ground. And again, it's as big as a Labrador Retriever without the legs. And so you realize that the carapace, somewhat shiny, it's a lot more sturdy and hardy than the other tech metal that you've seen here so far, obviously, because it's more of a exoskeleton rather than actual metal. But it is very, very sturdy. It's a biomechanical carapace, and you can put that into your found equipment. You can use that for weaponry or armor, especially once you find the fabricator forges if you so choose. But that is now in your found equipment that you can trade in for 1 gold. Okay?
All right, I pop it in my bag, my backpack, I guess, that I have for if we need it, and I just sort of go back to shaking Jaxu.
He stops. He's just like breathing hard, like he's been in combat for hours, even though it was like all took probably like a less than 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And
Cecile, we killed it.
Cecile, like by your part during the their little thing, I think you're encountering your own crawler of a sense. So you can fight, you can run, you can. What do you think?
I think since I said stay away from the water before, I think I'm backing away from it quickly, but like keeping an eye, like seeing if it's like jumping at me or just like coming out, or what's its demeanor.
I think some of the slurry is sticking to it, so some of the sediments on it and such. So you can get an idea about the shape. I think it's like about the same size as the one that Jaxu and Hart are dealing with. Again, without the legs, but you can see it move, like it was coming towards you, but since you backed away slowly, it is like kind of making its way and then making its way back into the slurry. And then you can kind of see the sediment kind of like make its way across the slurry over one of the pieces of tech and then disappear further out. For now.
Yeah, I will let it be.
I hear the song. And Dr. Mullen, like you were the one that saw this huge like rise and fall of some of the tech out further in the pools in the lakes of this place. It seems to be getting closer.
Well, how close is my first question? Like, and how, maybe that's not the correct one. How fast?
Yeah.
Imagine a big creature just kind of like going underneath the water, just kind of at a leisurely pace. It just looks fast because of the sheer weight of some of the things that's bloofing. Yeah, exactly. But I will say that, you can tell that some of this equipment is either consoles or things that could be the fabricator forges. You don't know, though. Okay. You can't tell from this distance.
Okay. I assume I have what, like a minute or two while those yahoos are stabbing a big bug.
I think
Uh,
that does gather your attention for a
yeah,
little like a little minute.
yeah, just
But yeah.
okay. But I think I actually wait. I watch it that entire time to see if it's coming towards us, and then just turn to everyone else and go, uh, votes, do we think this is going to be a problem? Or do you think we can just sort of go? And
I
I
think it's
gesture
problem.
out into the dark, this writhing leviathan movement.
Mhm.
I think if it's
I'm
coming
thinking
at us, it's
problem.
going to be a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't look like it's paying attention to us. So
If we're beneath
maybe we
its
can just
notice, maybe we can just, yeah.
right. And I found this panel we could probably use to scoot under so we don't, get that nasty rain on
Mhm.
us. And like maybe if we think it might be noticing us, we can just like
Pretend we're
crouch down
garbage.
and act like
Yeah.
a piece of trash, right?
Mhm.
We could. And all else fails, we could talk to it. That's worked before. Uh,
Yes, if all else fails. And I can think there's a lot of ideas I have before we get to all else failing. But once all of those things I fail, I'll turn to Hart and see if he has any ideas. And after those run out, we'll ask Cecile, do you have any ideas? And then you can talk to it. How's that sound? Is that good?
I feel so valued.
Shit, she's gonna
Goodness
talk to it.
gracious.
I like lean over to Cecile. He's gonna talk to it.
I'm gonna say though, I think the whispers in the dark are talking to you, Dr. Mullen,
What
as
are
you
they
feel
saying?
their well, I mean, first you hear it as like murmurs, like you could almost let it blend into the susurrus of the water, the slurry moving back and forth. And then I think you get an image as you're speaking to Jaxu, and you get this image of something brooding and deep and big, conscious under the water,
Mm.
and it's saying something to you. It's like this very deep basso type of tone, and it just sounds like, in the dark, in the dark, come into the dark.
I love this.
But you
I
can't tell whether it's that thing that you're seeing
Mhm.
like moving through the water or if it's something else.
Does anybody else have a light source on them? Just a quick
I should
OOC
hope so.
question. Okay. I didn't know if there was like an active light source going on. Okay, good. Then this won't be absolutely just the worst thing I could ever do as a fellow player. Um, Dr. Mullen turns off the really bright thing, and in this, just it's an immense level of shadow that just drops over everyone other than Hart's photo. What is it? A photo cell.
Mhm.
As they're talking to Jaxu, and just puts up a finger. Hold on. And starts walking towards that thing. And I'm going to use commune to try to figure out what's talking to me.
Nice. Okay. So, risk. Definitely dark dive for using a ritual. Man. Skill, occupation, background, all that fun stuff. Rituals?
Yes.
Yes,
Commune. Yes.
absolutely. Oh, what can go wrong? Just what could go wrong? Not devil's bargain yet. What could go wrong?
It just goes smush.
I think you're gonna get a little bit closer than you expected, Doc, and I think you're just gonna like, yeah, smush. Or actually I picture something else first. I picture you get too close to the water slurry and it's like this immediate riptide just like pulls you down and
Oh,
under.
nasty.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nasty friends.
that could be problematic for sure.
Be problematic.
Okay. So we've already established the other die, so go right to the devil's bargain, please. No matter what. To Dr. Mullen.
And the stakes are whether they can talk to it or not.
Commune,
Safely.
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
No matter what, it tells you something you don't want to hear.
Oh. That's fun. That's very the menu.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yes.
it tells you something about yourself that no one else knows from your past.
Oh, they know your secrets.
Oh, spooky. Oh, that's
Same thing,
fun.
but same, yeah, different.
No. I mean, like, something you didn't want to hear, or like,
Yeah.
your secret. I think it could
I was
be.
like, I think
yeah.
that could be the same, honestly, the same
Yeah.
Oh,
thing.
okay.
That
All
could
right.
be I think that could be combined if I don't know why it says I rolled gold. I did not do that. And if I did not mean to.
Oh, it just says you rolled whenever anybody rolls gold. So it's
Oh,
just
okay. I was like, but any other? You're muted, Jonn, my friend.
No, I can't think of anything better than those. So, sorry.
Yeah, I really like the idea. Go ahead, Mats.
I think. Let's see. Whispers and parasitized. I think you'll be carrying a part of the Leviathan with you.
Oh God, that's so good.
Or
Shit.
like, yeah, something will come out of the dark / the water, and yes, will be your little friend.
Man, both of those, all those are so good. Shit.
Just remember, you only get one die, even if you
I
wanted
know.
to take all of them.
I know that's the problem. Is like a narratively, I love them all, and I don't even care about getting more dice. I do like the idea of it telling me something I don't want to hear, though. I think that's got a lot of it's got a lot of room to play and be something really nasty.
Mhm.
As long as that is not too much narrative pressure on you, Mads, of just thinking up horrible shit to say.
Oh, I was gonna. Let's see, because I would wonder who it would be coming from. The dark, or something from your past that you just didn't not want to remember or know.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh man.
So.
Up to interpretation, I'm into that. I think I'm gonna go with something that I didn't. I'm gonna hear something in those whispers that I didn't want to hear. That's very good.
Okay, hold on.
Even if it goes good.
Want to hear? Okay, so go ahead and roll, please. 2 light, 1 dark.
Here we are going. If it is high, my ruin goes. I got a 6 dark. That's really thematically appropriate.
So you succeed, but tell me who is speaking to you out of the dark, and what they say that you're in denial or you're angry about, that you didn't want to know, you didn't want to hear. What are you denying, Dr. Mullen?
I think I am going to take a note from a thing I mentioned earlier. I think it's, as it gets clearer, I can't tell who it is, but I can tell what it's saying. And it's about being unworthy of this. It's about being undeserving of the knowledge that lies beyond the dark. No matter how hard you work, it doesn't matter, because you've already failed. It's already denied you. And yes, I also have to teach a 101 class at 8 a.m. and my tenure is denied.
Yes.
Those side things that other voices are whispering.
For those watching, we try to save all of our hilarious things for chat, which is why you sometimes see us laughing.
Exactly. Your condition from this is going to be such unworthy doubt.
fun.
Inadequate would work too, but all right. Okay. So given that, I would like to know just before we take a break, what does anybody else see this? Does anybody see your communing, or is this like a flash, just like a thought? What does this look like to anybody else watching?
Are you asking me or the others?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
asking you.
I think you can all see it. I think it is it's almost like looking into Vanta Black, but you can see it. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if that's how this works. I will let you all decide if you can hear this thing get louder or if that's just in here. But you definitely see some of those like tendrils of darkness shift up with the tide.
They don't hear it specifically, but I will say the tendrils of darkness that appear from the tide, I think there's the hint of starshine to them.
I love
So
that.
that's the image we're left with for break. So let's go ahead and take, let's to the 40 mark, okay?
Cool.
So go from there. All right,
Okay.
see you then. So Cecile, you were over by the pools, and I think, again, you saw the camouflaged thing like kind of drift back into the slurry and like move its way across the field of floating tech. But I think as you move away, as you back up, I think your console kind of beeps at you, or kind of does like some kind of readout. First, it comes out very garbled, as if it couldn't figure out like what the reading was trying to say. And then you see that it is sensing particular technology in the water, as well as more of these organic things of different shapes and sizes. So, and your complication is oh, I know. Okay. Give me a sec, because I am going to pull the thing I said I was going to pull, which is you're going to get a little message from a different time. Possibly a different reality. Or maybe the same reality. Who the hell knows? I think your readout starts to clear up a bit. You see the organisms in the water. You see like the tech floating. Maybe you're even able to get like a garbled function of where it seems like you can see some fabricator forges maybe floating out there somewheres. But I think after you see the schematic float above your console, I think the readout underneath on the actual monitor itself starts to flash the same 3 words back and forth, as you recognize it as a message from the dark. Reunion, rebirth, remake, reunion, rebirth, remake. Those 3 words flashing across your console until it completely fills the screen and then turns into pixelated nonsense. And that is your condition. Readout, reunion, rebirth, remake. Out of character, this is where your 2 groups start to collide, because this is a message that one of those characters sees, or hears, actually.
Does it seem like the organisms are... Do they care about us? Like, are they aggressive or hungry or interested, or are we not interesting to them?
Not right now. However, you can tell that they are consuming things
Hmm.
that they find, and they are larger than anything that you've possibly seen in your database or in your experience. But they are, again, of different shapes. So
Hmm.
the one thing that you saw crawling out could have been like a distantly related to like a lobster with the spindly legs up in front. Um, Whereas what Jaxu and Hart had seen looked more like a very large arachnid. So no threat just yet. However, get a little too close to territory, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that was your condition. Yep. Okay.
So the fabricator forges maybe that are their like items, not like a big place. Is that what I'm seeing?
They are kind of like, think of ovens,
Hmm.
like oven
Hmm.
sized, because again, you can feed these forges raw material or
Right.
scavenged goods, and they will create things that you request with a cost, of course.
Of
But
course.
yeah, but they will create, like, if you need particular tools or some maybe modified enviro suits to survive in different, you know, climates.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And you do know that they will require some kind of base to do anything, but you need to find them and then feed them
Hmm.
the tech for them to create what you need. Okay?
And the liquid in the pools is similar to the corrosive liquid that is dripping down, or is it the same? Or
Actually, it's like it doesn't look like it's the same. Like the what drips, what falls, looks like it's the like it kind of gives you like that iridescent look of like oil on water.
hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And I can kind of sense where the forges might be down there with the
They're
organisms.
further out in this water, if you
Cool.
want to call it that. Yeah.
I'm going to check off some equipment.
Okay.
I'm going to pop a rebreather in and step and drop it to one of the pools.
You're going to go into the pool. Oh, okay. Alrighty. I think
And
you
just like
feel
let myself sink down to where I think it is.
interesting. Okay. The cold begins to seep into your bones as you wade into the deep, viscous water. And I think, well, let's do hunt roll.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. We'll make it a hunt roll to start for sure. So obviously you're using a piece of equipment, and then you're asking the question, what are you thinking to see?
Where can I get to the forges without being eaten?
Or at least mark where their position is.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. 2 die on the hunt roll, please.
4.
Okay. Get a token. Counter something terrible. And I will make the reminder again. You can trade in your hunt tokens whenever you want.
Jaxu, do you want to trade in some hunt tokens?
I mean, I would like to do that. I just didn't want. I was waiting, but yeah, I definitely do want to do that.
I'll put in my 2 if you want to put in 1.
Sure.
To resolve the
Awesome.
set. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, fair. Okay. All right. Hold on.
I also would like to cash in one of those
Okay. That's fine.
if possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me give you some stuff. Let me give you a thing. I think maybe as you recover from stabbing the thing or what have you, I think from the dim light source that you do see, I think from behind one of the paneling, you see what looks like a scavenger's boat craft. It was tucked behind one of the wall panels. As you look behind Hart and see this, it's a cobbled together thing. It's ship warped, and it's seen some better days for sure. But you can tell that the repulsor lift still works. So you could, with a little work, make it operable again if you want to cross the lakes, the pools here. So that's something that you do find. Okay? Put that in your found equipment. Give me a second. And then Cecile. You find would you say that like in one of the like your goggles or something in that helmet or head wrap of yours like allows you to see a readout without looking at your console?
Yeah, I think that's what the AR lens is. It's like almost
Great.
like I think it's like a contact lens actually.
Oh, great. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yeah, so I think you're able to see with your like you spy with your little eye. I think you're able to see it comes up as like holographic signatures in your lens, and you're able to see what's identified as fabricator forge here and there. They are not deep under the water. They're made of some kind of material that allows them to float a little bit. But because they've been corroded, like some of their parts have been corroded, it's like they've taken on some of the dampness, some of the water, and so therefore they're partially sunk. But you can see them. They're out there. You just do have to get into the water somehow to grab them, to be able to use them. So, and Jaxu might have a way to do that. So.
So I'm imagining maybe like if I could just cash in this token, I imagine I find something that's they're they almost like they look terrible. Like they're like these little eye things that like kind of just when you put them over your eye, they just like suck onto them. But they look kind of like those old fashioned swim goggles, but
Mhm.
without any of the things connecting them to it. It's just the eye parts. And they kind of just like somehow you go near and it's just like, and I don't know what happens, but behind what's happening behind it once it uh, attaches itself. But once they're attached, it takes a while. Like I'm probably like Jackson was probably temporarily blind for a period of time, and then when his vision comes back, it's like more like maybe able to see through this stuff somehow. I don't know how it's doing it because probably it's not infrared. It's not anything that makes sense.
We are in a
But
dystopian warped future, sure. Okay.
right, but it's not anything that I like Jaxu or any like it's not technology that he's familiar with, because with the infrared and the night vision goggles, it's just like it's somehow different from that, but he's still able to see. It kind of expands his vision. Also, they glow green.
Okay. Are you trying to do a hunt roll before you resolve the
Yes.
set? Okay.
Now that I cashed in all the points, I would definitely like to do another hunt roll.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
If you don't mind.
Yeah. I mean, like, we can call, after this particular roll, we can call the set resolved because of cashing in the other hunt tokens. But go ahead and do the, let's see. So what are you using you're using the piece of equipment, never mind. And then you're looking specifically for what now?
That's a
Or
good
ask
question.
me questions about the world.
Yeah. I guess I kind of I'll have the question, I guess, for me is I'm looking for something that will let me find other people, because that's something that's important for Jaxu. I don't know if that's something I can just be that specific about.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
2 die on the hunt roll, please.
All right, here we go.
What a way to leave the set. All right. That's a 5, by the way, for anybody watching. Gets a token,
Right,
but
so
encounters something terrible. You succeed well, but something terrible. Give me a second. Okay. So again, I had said that above, higher than you can reach, there are pipes, half pipes, by the way, that will kind of drain some of this chemical slurry into the underhome, into the pools that are already here. And maybe there's some garbage every once in a while that kind of falls down as well. But I think as you're training maybe this eye onto each of the pipes, you notice that there's like varying states of darkness. Seen but not seen. Maybe like there's more of a haze near some rather than others, depending on what's being spewed. And then one that keeps your eye there for some reason because you see some movement. And I think you see what looks like your sister. Her head peeks out. And she's looking right at you, Jaxu. She's like... You can see her mouth, Jaxu. But the banging and the rocking of the metal like will drown out any sounds of her calling out to you in this strange place. And she seems to be reaching out for you again in this high pipe, half pipe.
Okay, well, I immediately look for some way to look around. There's a lot of large things here, and I will make use of whatever I can use to climb up there. Leviathan, so be it. Whatever it is, I have to make use of to get up there.
There's pieces across the water. There's also the stuff along the walls, like piping and awnings and such. Mm-hmm. However, I will say, like, as you try to figure out a way to make your way up there, I think you see her like waving at, like starting to wave at you, and like looking, surprised. But then you see a shadow behind her. And as soon as you see her, and then like she's kind of reaching out for you and then waving, she's immediately gone as she's snatched from behind.
Okay, that will not stop him from trying to get up there.
Okay.
It just bolts, and that just makes him try to get there faster.
All right. So I'm just going to make known that before Jaxu saw all this, he pulled out the scavenger's boat craft. So the rest of you can see that there is a handy skiff here that you can use to traverse and grab some fabricator forges if you need to, now that Cecile's identified where they are. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can do that if you want. And then, like with Jaxu, risk roll, honey, please.
Okay. That sounds right.
So, what are you
All right.
using to do this?
Uh,
Equipment.
athletics or flexibility skill.
Sure. Alrighty, no problem. And then, give me a second. Oh, I'm sorry. What could go wrong? Oh boy, you run into more of those things that are camouflaged and crawling across the wall,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, because you could not see what snatched your sister.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that could
As you
happen.
get closer to the wall, it recedes, so you never actually approach it.
Oh.
Mm.
Like it's a perceptual trick that it's the distance that you think it is.
It's vicious. I can't even add to that.
I can't. It's beautiful. Okay, that's go wrong. Whatever. All right. You're using athletics and/or flexibility, sure, because you got to
Mm-hmm.
figure out a way to parkour your way up there, and then
Mm-hmm.
dark die risking body for sure, and then
Okay.
devil's bargain, no matter what.
Man. No matter what, one of the things from down here follows you.
Ooh.
No matter what, you realize there's something down here that came out of the liminal space that you traveled through.
Okay.
Yeah, I think mine is similar to the no matter what, as you scrabble up, you disturb at least one or two more things that wake up, may or may not follow you, but they know you're there.
I think I like the liminal space thing. That
Mm.
seems like that's the one I like, I think.
Something followed Jaxu out of the time space loop thing. That's what happens when you go through vents, man. All right. Okay.
All right. So that's
So
2 light, 1 dark.
2 light, 1 dark, please.
5.
Okay. You can stay there. So success with a complication, or you can risk
Mhm.
it for a biscuit and add a dark die to re-roll. 2 light, 2 dark.
To try to get a 6. If I wasn't at 5 ruin, I would consider that, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to take that complication.
Okay. Oh man. A memory. Why did you stow away on the ship before it became the ship, going into cryo sleep? Why did you have to come on this ship and sneak into a cryopod and join this journey? What was so...
Well, I had to sneak onto this ship because, unlike my sister, I wasn't selected for this program.
Mm.
And what she's told me she was going to try to pull some strings to get me on there. I guess my pride kind of got in the way, and I told her I could find my own way onto it. That I didn't need to. She didn't need to be the reason I got on the ship. So I'm sorry, I can't maintain the voice and
Not expecting you to go. Just go.
so after like I just ran into a dead end with all the my ideas, all the things I thought. It was kind of like this was the last thing I could try to do, and the last thing I tried to do was effectively, in a way, it was hijacking someone. Like I effectively separated my persona was separated from my body.
Yeah.
And was being placed and had myself placed into one of the bodies in cryo. I mean, so effectively my mind was caught in a buffer. And if the program worked right, if someone was either like had some problem, like either brain dead or anything like that at all, the buffer was going to inject my personality into that, and that would become me. And I figured I'd be able to talk my way out of whatever situation I got myself into after we came out of cryo. You know.
What happened to your physical form, Jaxu?
Hell if I know. You'd have to ask the doctor that I hired to help me with the process. Because that part, like, I'm not a medic. I'm not a surgeon. I'm not. So I worked with somebody for the parts I couldn't do myself. And effectively, it was just like, hey, you have a cadaver. You're going to have a body that you can have on ice. You can do whatever you want with it. I mean, that's worth the price of admission. So I'm not going to need it anymore. So that's kind of what I did. And so that's how I got here. That's how come I wasn't sure what I looked like when I got out of the cryo because I fucking had no idea.
But your sister recognized you.
I don't fucking know how. That's the thing. But it's definitely, she definitely did. Every time I've seen her, she's recognized this face, which fuck if I know why.
Yeah. And maybe you'll find out when you meet up with her. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay.
I'm like reeling.
Yeah, I know. I'm like
so good.
Same.
So good.
So you do
makes it so
succeed.
good.
Yeah, I'm like, oh God, why do I come back? How do I get to that? Okay. I think you do make it up there. You find a combination of ways to parkour your way up with this very live and like skilled body that makes their way up. And I think as you're getting your way up to that pipe that you saw your sister, I think you're realizing that you're shirtless. You're unprotected. But I don't think you notice until you get up to the half pipe that the skin, your flesh, has been worn away with contact with the chemical slurry. And underneath is not blood and bone.
I think there's another sentence there that you need.
What do you see under there, Jaxu? What's underneath? What's
It's
underneath
not
that
blood and
skin?
bone.
No, not blood and bone. What do you see?
Um, I I think under it is more like uh it's like metal sinew, and like it almost looks like they're like these liquid filled sacks that are kind of look like they're shaped like the way the musculature should be shaped, but isn't. So it definitely looks like if skin was over top of it, they would look just like any old human. But what it is not even really identifiable, other than it's definitely not human musculature. You're not even sure if it's like biological or mechanical. Just sort of is something.
And I think the camera will see your face as you realize this and stare and wonder at your hand and arm as you notice these things. And when it trains upon your face, behind those bulbous blue eye things, we realize it's not those things that you attach to your eyes that's glowing green. It's your actual eyes.
Right.
And you see what looks like your sister down the pipe very clearly, as if there's daylight there.
Mm-hmm.
And she was snatched, but it didn't seem like it was something inimical. It was actually, it looked like another survivor that she's following.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of like, ducking back to see you. And you can see her mouth your name, and she's beckoning to you. She's waving you forward. Come follow.
Yeah, and Jaxu will like it keeps moving. He's just gonna run as fast as he can to catch her
Which may be a lot faster than
because
you expect.
okay, all right.
I think the rest of you, like as we pan the camera back down to the, by the seas and slurry, I think the rest of you, the three of you, will see Jaxu make his way up the wall. What the hell? Shirtless and all. And he seems to slide right into the half pipe, no problem, after you watch him hesitate for a moment as he's looking at one hand. And I'm going to say that he didn't notice it doing it, but I think you will notice that that's a very strange position. His one hand is just gripping by itself, and his legs don't seem to have any purchase on anything, but he's hanging on no problems as he's looking at his one hand before he launches himself into the half pipe and disappears from view. What do you three do, seeing the skiff, the scavenged boat, and Cecile with her schematic of where the fabricator forges are?
I think we're all looking at where Jaxu went before we're looking at any of the other shit we were doing.
Mhm.
Like, I think I've already stopped talking to the things in the dark by the time this happens, that it's just
Oh yeah,
watching this.
yeah. I think the wonder in your face at the starshine and the wispy darkness is kind of like, like your face like falls into this look of surprise and shock and seeing Jaxu. What?
Dr.
He's like-
Mullen,
Yeah?
do you have a medical explanation for that?
Medical? No.
All right.
Um,
I don't want to hear it if it's not medical.
you don't want to hear it. Okay. So Zergon, what is the plan now? Do we have things?
Oh, we have things, yeah.
Ah, interesting.
We need to
Just-
find out what is happening on this ship. We need concrete answers.
For once, I think we agree. Yes.
we are aligned,
Cecile?
yes.
Cecile, I think that beyond the fabricator forges, like once you pick these things up on this boat, I think you're able to see that there's like entryways beyond it. You just couldn't see them because of the hulking mess of metal that was floating in this space. But now that you have a boat, essentially like a boat slash hovercraft that has room enough for you all as well as the fabricator forges, then you're able to take it across, maneuver and navigate your way across to that entryway. The schematics say so. It's not a problem. But I will say that the schematics showing the double doors, the entryways further in, will show you that. But I think on your actual console itself, Cecile, I think you'll see those words pop up again. Reunion.
Is anyone else
Rebirth,
getting
remake.
this message?
They
Dr.
don't
Mullen.
see anything.
Yeah. I'll get up in your
Cecile.
grill and look.
Reunion, rebirth, remake.
Reunion, rebirth, remake.
No.
I
I
think
do
the
not
dark
see
choir's
anything.
in your head, Cecile, and it's singing it.
Huh.
Reunion, rebirth,
rebirth.
remake. You guys can hear that, right? You can see it?
9. No,
Reunion.
Hot?
No.
You see the schematic, fine. I mean, like, you could see clear as day, leading to the further in or out of the underhull.
Are you... How long have you been hearing this, Cecile?
The whole time.
The whole time of but.
Since we got here.
Oh.
I would like to add an item to my equipment.
Okay.
I would like to add a direct neural... Ooh, I added it to Dr. Mullen's. Sorry.
Sure, Dr. Mullins
Thank
could use one of
you.
those things.
Yeah,
you go.
I definitely need to be doing medical examinations on anyone.
I'm going to add a direct neural interface kit to my backpack
Yes.
equipment,
Oh.
and I would like to directly interface with Cecile.
Ooh, boy.
Let's do it.
All right, I'll pilot the boat, but like
Yep,
only
yep,
halfway.
yep.
I'm watching this.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
And I think I'm just setting this up, and it's sort of like, it's pretty high tech, and I'm not super techy, but I've done this before.
Mhm.
So I kind of feel like I'm the Vulcan who has done the Vulcan mind meld once under
Mhm.
supervision a few years ago, and now I am... Yeah.
You've had to do a lot of things in the name of being the combat medic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You know,
things happen.
things
And
happen.
I pull back my head wrap and my hair a little bit and just show my neck and those like half a dozen different kinds of ports. Like one of these is gonna work.
Oh, I do
Clearly,
that thing where I
whatever the
hold up
case.
the cord,
Yeah, just
and I'm like,
make sure it's flipped the right way. It's
and it's like a USB, you know, I put it in, and
Wait,
it
is
doesn't
it
really
an A
go,
or,
so
an
I-
A or a
Other way.
C?
you know, I
Other way.
turned it up and I put it the
Other
right
way.
way.
Yeah, there
C
you go.
doesn't
There you
matter.
go.
It can be either way.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's micro USB.
Yeah.
Oh God, those are the worst. Those are the worst. Oh, God.
Yeah, and I think it does click in with a little
Mhm.
boop sound as
Mhm.
it hits against the side of your skull.
Mhm.
And mine doesn't connect directly to my brain.
Oh.
It's
However-
more like a headset
Mhm.
readout kind of thing.
However,
It's like a strange days kind of.
Yeah.
yeah, I think. Okay. Let me ask you something. Are you trying to do a hunt roll, or are you?
Yes.
Okay, I will
Yes.
allow a hunt roll because if we went into risk roll, man, this could be hilarious.
No, I'm trying to figure out what is happening to Cecile and why like what the relationship is between that and the rest of what's going on the ship.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Are you aware that Cecile is or was a Techno Oracle?
No, I don't think I
Ah,
am.
okay.
I didn't know that Jaxu was a stowaway. I barely think Dr. Mullen's a doctor.
You might be right about that one.
Oh my god. Okay. Sorry. Okay, equipment. All right, and then you're like, what's going on with Cecile? Go ahead and 2 for the hunt roll, please.
That is a 4.
Okay. Counter something terrible. All right.
All sorts of terrible stuff up here.
All sorts of terrible up in this junk. Okay. You get a token though. That's good. Plugging into your headset, yeah? Flip and readout? Okay. The readout is giving you vitals to start.
Vitals look good?
Pulse ox, the blood pressure, all that kind of fun stuff. Temperature, normal, whatever. Maybe you were able to get the basics on everybody's vitals before. Or no, because you didn't know you were going to be woken out of cryo sleep early.
But I know what basic vitals, like what the average would be. I would imagine if there's anything that's unremarkable, I'm not going to pay attention to it.
True. But
Unremarkable in like medical terms, I mean, not.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Cecile, you're a very nice person.
But I think what is
as unremarkable as possible.
but I think what is remarkable, like, in looking at this, checking out what is happening with Cecile and thinking about how it connects with the ship, I think your readout starts to see that they're still looking normal, standing in front of you, hooked into this headset and whatever. But I think you see the sudden plunge of their blood pressure, sudden plunge of their temperature as they come up very, very cold. And God, chat. All right, gotta stop looking at that. And I think your readout starts to turn from like maybe a golden green color, like, for the words. I think it starts to turn into something dark that you can barely read on your transparent readout. And it glitches. It starts to lighten up more as the words begin to glow. Pressure's still down, temperature's still down, but then like you get like some bars that are moving very quickly across your readout. So quickly you can barely see them move, and they fill your screen, and they turn into words as the light recedes. Reunion, rebirth, remake, reunion, rebirth, remake. And then the message at the end of this readout says, remake yourself, Hart.
I flip up the visor.
Are you all right?
You saw it.
Cecile, are you okay?
No.
No, but I mean, based on your vitals, you should be flat on your back by now. You don't feel faint at all?
I mean, I'm cold a little naturally, but that's normal for me.
You flip the readout back down. Normal.
And I'll think to you, like, what do you see? Are you in? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna take this off now.
Already?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything here that's gonna help me.
Okay.
Help you, I mean. Help us.
As
And
you
I'm
take
just
it off, you see the blinking phrase. Remake yourself, Hart.
I'm gonna accidentally drop it over the side of the boat. Accidentally.
She just sort of.
Unplug that before you throw it away.
Like whoop. I think it's one of those things where, like, you know, when if you trip on an extension cord and you sort of pull it out of its socket, but there's a jarring thing that happens first. I think that's what happens to you, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna say as the boat drives away, and maybe Hart, you're looking back towards the slurry as things are moving underneath, but your headset's long gone. I think if you go through your console, Cecile, I think you will realize that, yes, these fabricator forges will accept anything that you want to give them. And they will create suits or anything you want, really. You can make it to the other side over by the double entryway. And then try to get them to work once you're over there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. What do you feed? So for the three of you that are here, like, with the fabricator forges, they don't look like they normally do. Again, they would look like ovens or washing machines, what have you, with a place to enter in technology and a place for it to process and then spit it out. What do you give it to create something that you want?
Well, if we were just in the underhull where there was a bunch of debris and bits of broken stuff, I mean, I probably would have been tossing stuff in my pockets if I knew that we were planning to fabricate things. I also, because I have necrotize, if there's anything around here that I could just necrotize into pieces, I will do that.
Okay.
And feed it like
I'm not even gonna make you
bits
do
of
it. I mean,
stuff.
yeah. That's fine. So
That's awesome.
I just want to know. Imagine that the way that it, not read out, but like it kind of signals like its process is you feed it something and you enter in what you want, and there's a couple of different segments that it goes through that lights up, and one of the segments, obviously we'll say material, like raw material. Another one will say scavenge, and then another one will say mysteriously offering.
Oh.
What do you give for the offering process?
Do I have to? Is it part of it?
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to check our tabs real quick.
I
Before we have an answer.
Yeah.
Because I assume we're all doing this part, this, or is this just Hart's? Has Hart sort of gotten to this and stopped? Because I imagine since she's been the one sort of like gathering all these things, have you gotten to this thing where it just says offering and stopped?
I mean,
I think so.
it will create more than one of the things if you tell it to. But I mean, again, you have to give it all the things it needs.
What is this saying? Offering. I've never seen that on a fabricator before.
I have some ideas. I don't think it's standard, but
Offering is written a different font than the others.
Do you mind if I try something?
Go ahead.
Go right ahead, doctor.
Like a real professional doctor, I scoot up to the fabricator and get my survival knife and just sort of like get to a non-vital part on my arm, like on like an exposed part of my flesh, and just and bleed into it until it stops saying offering or until it does something. Um,
The offering light will turn on as soon as the blood splashes onto its plate. And once it gets its fill, then the light, stops glowing brighter and then like turns, well, universal signal, green.
God's tits, Dr. Mullen. And I think I'm right there with bandages already, like ready to go wrap up.
thank you.
Nice,
So,
nice, nice.
not necessarily, but it worked.
It shouldn't have.
But it did.
See, Cecile knows what I'm talking about.
Why are you both so chill about this?
Is surely this is not the first time you've seen this kind of thing.
Yes, it is! Generally
Hmm.
speaking, machines don't want your blood.
I mean, some machines do.
There's a progress bar that moves as you
What?
are talking, and Hart is starting to freak out. Progress bar moves, and then you hear a small ding. And out of the results end, you see 3 suits. They look like regular Enviro suits. They will stretch, they will fit, of course. But they create a barrier that, helps insulate from certain conditions. But I think, Dr. Mullen, when you see these suits and kind of like lift them up, turn them around, whatever, I think I'm going to say it gives you joy. And Hart, well, let's see what happens, because when you turn these suits out of the fabricator, I think you'll see along the arms, on the back, and maybe like on the chest area, you will see sigils. Dr. Mullen, I think you recognize these. Cecile, I think it's very likely that you recognize them as well. And Hart, dear Hart, you've seen these in your sigil soup. Do you say anything to each other, seeing these wonderful
Are the sigils the
suits?
same on them all, or are they individualized?
I'm gonna say that they look very similar to each other. But I mean, perhaps maybe there's something that you see in a particular suit that draws you to them. Dr. Mullen, Cecile, I want to know what symbol calls out to you on a suit that calls it out as yours.
Cecile, you may go first.
I think there's a sigil that I can't translate it, but it means to me when I see it, like twin or double. And there's something about it when I put it on that, because I've got my shadow friend. I think there's something about it when I put it on that kind of tucks it in with me.
I think that's very likely.
Close to my skin.
Hmm?
Sliding
Almost
around a little
reassuring.
bit. Yeah.
Adorable and horrifying, I agree, Amanda. I think the one Dr. Mullen sees is one that is very translatable, and it's right here above the heart. I know I'm mirrored, so goodness knows, but and it just says sacrifice.
Nice.
I
Hart,
take
do
the
you?
last one
Right.
because it's the only one that'll fit me and the only one left, and I can't read it.
Okay. Gotcha. I was gonna ask, like, Hart, do you actually look at the sigils on the suit?
Hope no way.
Okay. Does not
Better
look.
off.
Okay, good to know. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. And I think as you all take the suits and then put them on, I think we will see an image of the three of you like approach the double doors like from a side angle. First Dr. Mullen, then Cecile, and then Hart in a staggered look, and then the doors, as if signaled by your suits being on, slide open. But there is no light that shines on your faces. I think it's only some kind of miasmic breeze that ruffles your hair, draws across your faces, and you can move in. Jaxu, in your travels in the tunnels as you try to near your sister and her companion, whomever's with her, you are close, but still just that little distance away, never closer. And I want to know, as you make your way through this tunnel, what do you remember? Before you asked to come here on this ship, what is a happy memory that you had with your sister?
I think the happy memory was attending a concert with her. We actually we kind of had been apart for a long time, and so this was like a time in our lives where this is the first time we really had a chance to get together. And so we had all got dressed up, looking nice. Uh, went had went out for a nice dinner. Talked about our family, our relationships, things like that. And before we were going to to um, go to a live performance, and it was. I mean, I'm not going to say it was the best performance. We get to see someone who was they were kind of on the tail end of their career, but it was, you know, you get to see them before they retire. It was just like it wasn't their best performance, but it definitely was musicians that we grew up listening to. So that as made it as good as you could have asked for, honestly. And yeah, and
I think she ran
I
ahead of you then, in the excitement to get into the concert hall. You're seeing her very happy face and running after her because she's telling you, "Come on, Jaxu, gotta get to our seats. It's gonna be the
and
best."
yeah, and I'm complaining because I was like, this is I can't get my he's like, you making me get my uniform fucking wrinkled. This is not how I want. They're like, look, I gotta. Some of this stuff does going back to the store, so I didn't. I don't. I didn't. So I can't get this shit ripped and are sweated on.
Stop
Then I,
complaining.
but I
Let's go.
still
Let's go.
shit. I'll stop complaining when I'm dead. Slow the fuck down.
The camera sees you running down the hall, saying this to an empty corridor, and as you pass, the walls light up. You don't see them. You're concentrating on the memory. The walls light up, and you pass symbols and sigils that glow with a dim green light as you pass. And we hear the music. We hear distant strains of this person tuning up, getting ready to go. And chords ring out in this hallway as you disappear from view. And the screen says, "To be continued." Okay, so
But it's
stars and wishes.
Oh my god.
Jaxu, your background reveal was the best thing ever. It was so good. Oh my god. I remember last time I was looking at, she's like uplifted. Like what that's gonna mean. Like could not imagine anything better than that. It was so great. So good. Uh Supernova. Um Doing the direct mind link thing, incredibly fun. I really enjoyed that. All the little bits and pieces of that, super fun. The blood sacrifice, not unexpected, but love that you did it. Yeah, and Matt's just all around, all the good everything. Wishes. I want to find out what if Jaxu is going to be able to make it back to us, and how, um, or if we're going to run into someone else after something bad happens. Who knows?
Yeah, I have similar. Jonn, that background reveal was bonkers. It was fun enough to have revealed like us or at least Hart finding out that you're a stowaway and losing her mind. That was fun. But then this whole other thing that we don't know yet, like the characters don't know yet, and it's wild. And I like completely was floored to realize that going back in my memories of all the different things Jaxu has done and how things tie together. And oh yeah, that was fabulous, fantastic. I'm so excited about that. Dr. Mullen, I also really liked the blood sacrifice. That was awesome. There was another thing that you did that I just, gosh, I wish I have my memory. I should have been taking notes, but I was so distracted by how cool everything was. I like when there was something that you did near the beginning when we just got into the Underhull, and Jonn, you wrote in chat, why does Dr. Mullen look like he is about to do something stupid? I can't
Oh,
remember
because they
what
were
it
going to go
was.
talk to the Leviathan. I was certain
Yes!
they were going to go talk to the
Yeah,
Leviathan.
the whole interaction with the Leviathan and Dr. Mullen was fabulous and fantastic, and I really like this sort of matter of fact way that Dr. Mullen interacts with these horrible things around him, and at the same time is like, why is this confusing to you? What's wrong with you? Like, it's a really fun juxtaposition against how Hart and Jaxu are dealing with things. It's very fun, and then of course Cecile putting on the rebreather and jumping into the water. What kind of decision is that? It was awesome. That was awesome. And I really liked that you let me connect to your brain for a while because that's risky. And it was great. Mads, all of this was a lot of fun. At one point, I really liked you did the spooky voice. You did the spooky croaky voice you do sometimes, like and it was really great. It just really, like I had like the hairs on my neck rising up, and like it was perfect. It just felt great. Yeah, wishes. I also want to see what happens to Jaxu. Are we ever going to see them again? Not sure, because Jaxu's at Ruin 5, so it could possibly happen, maybe it won't. I'm also excited to see what happens with these suits that we had made, which is probably going to be nothing, and it'll be safe and fine.
Things are going to be so fine and safe. Oh my goodness. Holy shit, this was wild. Mads, that voice you did for the Leviathan or whatever the hell that was so cool. I love your voices. I cannot stress this enough. And that was so cool to pull out. That because this game doesn't have a lot of NPCs to voice. And when you do, you just like you bring out the big guns and it is really cool. And I really appreciate that you let us make the wildest decisions possible and reward it. And it's with really cool narrative stuff. The sigils on the suits, oh, that's so cool. That rocked. That's really awesome. And just how you're handling Jaxu's backstory with continuously letting the sister kind of just be just out of reach is really, really fun. And Jonn, you're doing such a cool job of telling Jaxu's story. I'm on the same page as Amanda and Marc. That backstory reveal was fucking bananas, dude. That was so and like looking back, like you didn't recognize her. Of course, like I should have like been thinking about that, but like I was just so enamored with Jaxu as a character. I was like, I forgot pretty much about that like fun little detail until you dropped that. That's so cool. That is so cool. I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed. And I really love that you made the hard decision of like completely splitting up from the party and like something that like narratively made so much sense for you, even if it wasn't like the safe decision. That was really cool. And I really love that. And it was and the way you bounced off with Mads with that like, hey, it's not meat under there. What is it? That was really fun. That was really, really fun. And Marc, I love Cecile. I was not shocked when you jumped in the water, the same way you were not shocked when I made a blood sacrifice because it feels so in character. But that was a wild decision, and I didn't expect you to do that when like initially, but as soon as you pulled out a rebreather, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, they're not going to do that, right? That was really, that was really, really great. And something in particular that was like two little things, like with the interaction with Hart with the Vulcan mind meld of like just pulling back your hair and there's like 6 ports for some reason. Like that was awesome, like world building. And I'm like, what does that mean? And then just like she tosses it over and you're just immediate little like that was priceless. That tickled me to death. Oh my gosh. Hart, my beloved, I adore that you are so rational. I'm so glad someone is fucking reasonable, especially now that Jaxu's off doing something. There needs to be someone to be like, this is bad, right? You know that, right? Like it's very, very, very good. And your in character reactions just delight me to no end, especially like with Jaxu being a stowaway. That's like so not a problem right now, but Hart is just like, excuse you. That is breaking the rules. And that's so good. And the deciding to Vulcan mind melt with Cecile to figure out what's going on. That is so hardcore. Like, just I love that you're adding these things to your back. Like, no, we're just gonna do this, and it feels very smooth and very legit, and also the wildest decision you could have made. And I really, really love it. And then just tossing it overboard without a word. So good, so good. Wishes, I just want to see more backstory stuff. Like everyone else said, I want to see where Jaxu's story goes. I want to see if you're going to come back or die horrifically. I'm very excited. I'm excited to see everyone else's backstory sort of bloom. This is just really cool. This is just really cool. I could ramble for a long time.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff I was going to say was being said. So I'll try to do some of the things that wasn't talked about. Jaxu and Hart's fight with the whatever it was, the creature that was just one person's very professional but does not have fingertips, and the other person is just like in the fight for their fighting like they are in the fight for their life. and having Hart have to deal with that bullshit. That was just I love that. Yeah, it's like the Leviathan. It's like the whole thing was like the Jaxu's like, after we try every single thing else, then we're going to talk to the Leviathan. Oh, shit. He's going to talk to the Leviathan. And he talks to the Leviathan. And it's just like, well, I don't even know why I even said anything. It didn't matter. Yeah, when Cecile jumped into the slurry, which was mentioned so many times, slurry in every possible bad way, and Cecile was just like, shit. I was just like, oh, I loved it. It was just so fit with everything else Cecile has done. It was perfect. I loved it. The whole kind of like using your using that to figure out and like how to get out of here was just like I'm gonna jump into the slurry to find a solution. Like what? It's like, of course. And it's like, oh, it's right there. Like, well, I guess I stand corrected. Jumping into the slurry was the right one. I love that. And yeah, like I think I'm kind of bouncing around everywhere. So the outfits, the how they were created, the way you describe Matt, how you describe the outfits, how you describe the Leviathan. I love that. Even how you describe Dr. Mullen's hand when they smartly reached out with their bare skin to test the water. That's just like the little details like that. I think are amazing, and of course when Jaxu goes off, he's just like, I am terrified. Oh, it's my sister. All the safety precautions that are on 100% of the time in his brain cut off when he sees his sister, and he does the most foolish thing. And it is just like, he's just like, oh, my hand's not supposed to look like that. But no, I still need to find my sister. I can worry about the fact that hands aren't supposed to look like that afterwards. And so that whole never being able to get close enough to catch her is just like, it's super frustrating for Jess. It's like the most frustrating thing. But it's just like the one thing that seems to make him give up on all pretense of reason, where if he's not present, he's like 100% a coward.
Before I forget, your condition for that is under the skin.
All right, let me write that down.
Yes, please, because it's
it.
like, before I forget, I was like, wait, I knew I owed you something.
All right, got it.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, my wishes are to find out where Jaxu is now, what's going on there. But it's just like, it's going to be. It's like I hate where it's like it's the story are going to diverge for too long before they come back together, because right now the rest of the group is effectively on a skiff going through, what is that ride at carnivals? It's like the lovers thing where you like go down the river and it's
The
like a
love
scary
boat with the
packet.
swans.
The love,
The tunnel of love,
yeah. They're on that, and so they're going down the creepy carnival ride thing, and I'm going in the fun house, I guess.
We'll see. We will see. I mean,
We'll have to meet up for funnel cake.
oh God. Oh my God. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm
Okay. So yes, stars to everyone for all the reasons that you've said before. I love the fact that Hart is so stoic and trying to be the reasonable one, but there are very unreasonable things happening right now. And she's trying to keep it together, which, I mean, kudos to you for trying to keep it as composed as possible in these very horrific circumstances. and then leading into Cecile. Of course, this is the same person, may I remind you all. This is the same person that stepped into the maw and asked me the question, how big is the opening, is the mouth? Okay, so I am not surprised that you jumped into the water, and I am also also pleased as punch that you're experiencing these things, and it's like it's calling to you in these different ways. So it's like you and Dr. Mullen are making it very rich and very enjoyable to speak to the dark. And leading into Dr. Mullen, my goodness, these decisions, excuse me, of speaking to the dark, getting the enormity of there's something big down here. There's something really big with like a huge consciousness, perhaps even more than you can tap, even with Cecile, if that's the kind of thing that you want to do. And also the reaction to, oh, it says offering? Sure, let me give it some blood. Why not? Okay. It's sterile, it's cool, it's fine. It's all good. That's, again, great decisions. And then Jaxu, I can totally depend on you to fall into a trope, come out of a trope, and then do something completely off the wall, or in this case, on the wall, that leads into a yes and moment that you start, and then I can build off of. Because I didn't know what was going to be under your skin. I just knew that, you're able to do this stuff. Why do you seem even more so than you should be, especially after hearing that, well, what we call in Carl from Brindlewood, like a mask. Holy crap, that was a hell of a backstory. So yes, thank you, because that was brilliant. So definitely huge stars for that. Yeah, wishes. You guys are doing a great job at reacting to each other, talking to each other, role playing with each other. I'm definitely Cecile. I love the whole reacting to Hart still throwing it, even though it's still attached to you. Love that. That was brilliant. But more so, even more so now, it's like, either commenting on the strangeness, making the strangeness known to each other, which you have done, but it's only going to go downhill from here. And I can't wait to see it. Who descends first? All I'm going to say is, in looking at everybody's ruin, please have a backup, just in case. Just in case. I don't want the next session to end prematurely. So, just in case, please. Oh, God. Oh, man, this is great. So, thank you all very much. This was brilliant. I loved it. And can't wait to see more. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Halfway through. Halfway through. And I know that B, you're not going to be able to join us for the last session, but if you decide to go out for that penultimate session, then please feel free and go as hard as you want.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
be lost.
Orchestrate that. We're gonna orchestrate some interesting stuff. You can all join me in the dark if you want.
Yeah, the comment.
Yeah, the last session is just all new characters.
Yeah.
A whole new set of survivors. It's fine. It's all good.
They're just like, is everyone okay here? Huh.
I don't know.
We're just gonna find our bodies.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that's what's going to happen for sure. It's like there was a comment this morning for their game that they were saying it's like, this is using everything with trophy gold, but yet it plays so much like a trophy dark.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
I
it's
forget
beautiful.
we're playing trophy gold. It
I
feels
know.
like a
I know,
long
me too.
Trophy dark.
Me too. I'm just like, oh, this is just so damn dark. It's
All
great.
right, we fought things that didn't die. That's the only reason I know it's different. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you fought monstrous things. You didn't die.
And there's no reduction roll.
No reduction roll, exactly. It's like you just gotta hang on by a thread, or in Jaxu's case, hang on by a arm.
An arm.
Really cool arm.
Yes, completely cool arm. Damn. Oh man. And who's got the embedded friend? Oh man, I gotta utilize that embedded friend. Okay, that's my wish for next time. I gotta remember to use all your conditions against you all. So
All right.
good. So good. Thank you all so much. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
This
Have
was very
happy
fun.
gaming. Yes, absolutely. Have happy gaming for the rest of the week, and I will see you next time.
Have a good week.
All right,
Have a good
see you.
week.
Have a good
Bye,
week.
guys.